The investigation by police for non-crime hate incidents, so why are the police involved, raises profound questions about the balance between safeguarding communities and protecting free speech and educating. Recent revelations show that incidents as minor as a 9-year-old calling a classroom a derogatory term, or secondary school pupils insulting another pupil's appearance, have found their way into police records, and the practice has come under scrutiny due to its implications for both children and public trust in law enforcement. Guidance suggests that non-crime hate incidents should only be documented when clear evidence is that they are motivated by hostility with the potential to escalate. Yet data shows over 13,200 such incidents were recorded in a year, revealing a significant inconsistency in enforcement across police forces. High-profile cases, such as police probing journalist Alison Pearson for her social media posts, highlight public concern over perceived overreach and thought policing. Critics, including politicians like Chris Philp, argue that this approach diverts police resources from pressing criminal matters and threatens fundamental rights. Philp's comments about the absurdity of some cases align with calls for clearer, stricter guidelines on what constitutes a proportionate, non-crime hate incident record. Former officers such as Harry Miller liken current practices to those of authoritarian regimes, underscoring a chilling effect on speech. I've lived in regimes which were on the cusp of becoming authoritarian. I have friends who continue to live in such regimes. And I think, without a shadow of doubt, that Harry Miller is right. We are veering speedily towards oppression. Humberside and West Yorkshire police, despite recording cases involving children, defend their methods as proportionate. Yet the broader criticism remains that the blurred boundaries between addressing community tensions and maintaining civil liberties risk undermining police confidence in policing. There's a broader issue, and that is about the role of parents and the role of schools and community leaders in moderating the language and teaching children. Although there's the wonderful song in South Pacific that we learn how to hate, we learn how to be bigoted, we learn how to be racist, I think in many ways we also learn how to be better. And I'm not completely convinced with Rousseau that our natural state is one of angelic innocence. I'm also not completely convinced with Thomas Hobbes that our natural state is one of being solitary, nasty, brutish, and so on. I think we lie somewhere between those two extremes as small children. And it's the role we pick up things, we reflect the opinions and the attitudes of our parents, even if they're not expressed in front of us, and of the people we meet. We certainly pick up the attitudes, the expressions of our school friends. And that needs to be curtailed. The bad things we learn need to be explained away. We need to be invited to rethink. The children we don't like, we don't necessarily call them specific names. We think of something else. And we need to be encouraged to do that. I don't think it's a matter for the police. I don't think it's about hatred. I think it's about vocabulary. And it's about our limited worldview when we are young. That can change. The government has signalled a review of non-crime hate incident guidelines to realign practices with public expectations to uphold free speech. And in the context of this pressure to ensure that non-criminal speech, particularly involving children or journalists, doesn't result in disproportionate state intervention. This evolving debate touches on deeper issues within policing, including where the line should be drawn between preventing potential harm and safeguarding essential freedoms. Balancing these principles will shape how society addresses hate and offence in a way that respects both protection and liberty. And of course, it's important to remember there that offence is what is perceived, not what is intended. There's a fine tightrope to be walked and a lot to be done, but I don't think it's to be done by the police. I think it's to be done by educationalists, by parents, by community leaders, and by friends.